Ready when you are.
I thought that said jump out of your car. I did not know where this was going.
Oh, that's-
Alright, hi guys. So this morning I'm going to tell you guys how to safely jump start your car. And then afterwards we'll have a little quiz. Okay, so a couple learning objectives. Just list 3 equipment materials you would need to start a car. List 4 chronological steps to jump start it, and then to list at least 2 safety tips when you are jump starting your car. So a couple of not so fun facts for you guys. Jump starting your car is kind of dangerous, even though I think a lot of people do it off-road. According to Blindness America, each year auto batteries cause roughly 6,000 eye injuries and can leave you blind. And according to the National Highway Safety Administration, so many injuries can occur, such as explosions, chemical burns, contamination, muscle strains or crush type injuries from lifting or dropping the batteries, electric shock from contacting the batteries or the posts. So just some equipment that you may need when jump starting a car. Obviously a set of jumper cables, another vehicle with a fully charged battery of the same voltage. Some of them, I think some of the cables come with their own little pack that you can use instead of a car, but those are a little more expensive. And the jumper cables you can always just throw in the back seat of your car or in the trunk. Some rubber work gloves, safety goggles, and then just having your car owner manual handy. So step 1, you need to make sure that it's the battery. Obviously so many things can be wrong with it, but just turning on the ignition, if it does nothing, it's probably your battery. Although, like I said, so many other things can be wrong with it, but that'll probably be it, the battery. Step 2, you would position the cars facing each other. Distance should be minimal, but without the cars actually touching each other, just like they're in this little cartoon. Locate the car batteries. So just open the front trunk and then check the owner's manual if you're not familiar what it looks like, but I think in general we all kind of know what a car battery looks like. Safety first, so put safety gear on such as goggles or gloves, and always keep these with your jumper cables in the car. So then this is the part that is very specific on how you're placing the cables on both batteries of both cars. So you start with the red first, and I remember these by Red Cross. So the reds always goes with the plus side of the batteries, and then the black sides go with the negative side. So you connect the red clamp to the positive end of the dead battery, and then the other red to the good battery of the good car, and then the black clamp to the negative of the dead battery, and then the last and final black one to any piece of grounded metal inside the car. So sometimes there's a little piece of metal, kind of holes coming out of the inside of the front trunk, so you would just connect that last black one to one of those on the dead car. So this is kind of what it would be looking like.
Dead
So then you start, turn on and start revving the engine of the working car for about 30 to 60 seconds after all the cables are connected. And this is what's actually charging the engine of your dead car. So now you're going to try and see if it worked on your car. If it doesn't work, you're probably going to just need another battery. If it works and your dead car actually turns on, then you want to run it and kind of slightly rev it. Some people tend to not want to rev it, but most cases you want to at least try and rev it slightly, intermittently for about 5 minutes or so. And then you're going to want to leave that dead car on for about 20 minutes before you completely turn it off, because then it might just not turn back on again. So now the way you remove the cables is also specific. You want to remove them in the reverse order of how you connected them. So it's kind of step 7, remove 4, 3, 2, 1. So remove the black on bare metal, then remove black on donor, remove red on donor, and then remove red on the dead.
If you do this in the wrong order, what happens?
I was just going to ask that.
So sometimes you're breaking off the circuit. So you can always put on, well no, you want to always put on the positive ones first, because if you try and put on the negatives first and you have the positive just kind of lying around, it can create a circuit. And then if you put on the negatives and then you put on the positive, that last hanging positive, if for whatever reason, yeah, you'll shock yourself. And then same thing going backwards. The positive.
That's why I have an auto club card.
Yeah.
So just overall safety tips. Check your battery for cracks, any corrosions, or loose wires whenever you're changing your oil. Wear splash-proof goggles. Never smoke or use anything that may spark when starting a battery. And make sure your jumper cables are intact and not rusted or corroded, and that there isn't any exposed wires on them. So now we're going to have a little quiz, and I'm using this thing called Plixers. I don't know if you guys have ever. I'm going to give you guys each a pre-assigned card for you guys. So it's basically something that I'm using that you guys don't have to download at all. And it's going to look like this. And so each side, there's a designated number that is your own number that I designated for you. And so this will say A, B, C, and D. And whenever I show a question, if you believe it's B, you would raise it like this, C, A, and then I'm going to snap a picture of it, and then we'll see it live up here.
Cool.
So A, also if it's a true and false question, A is true and B is false. So then...
Well, they have our names on it, so we can win.
And then 2 is Rena. 3 is Gemma. Natalie. Heather. Laurel. And Sheila and Zara aren't here.
So whatever your answer is, you put it on top.
Yeah, so for example, if it's A, you would raise it like this. If it's B, you would raise it like this, and then so on and so forth.
Okay.
So it worked at home.
It's an IQ test.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
I'm already
It worked at home. Let's see what's on this.
I see an A and I see a E. I don't see a
There's
C.
like little
There's numbers on the
it.
side.
Ah, okay.
So this one's just be like a barcode.
It is. That's what it is. It's a barcode that she's
So
gonna.
it doesn't really click.
Very
With
cool.
like a number.
Yeah. There we go. So it will actually show you guys a little bit about it. So there's my question, and it'll show me who has their cards. Obviously Sheila is here, but she's not here. I can reveal answer. So after I snap it, it'll show me here which one of you guys got it wrong and right. But I don't have to, so that you guys aren't shamed. I can also do a graph one that shows me who put A, B, C, and D. So I'll leave it here so that I know that I got all of you guys. So
She must.
once you guys are done, let's see. Myra.
Hold on.
Because the shapes are different. Because shapes are different.
Okay, I'm having a hard time. You guys have different
Okay.
things up.
So
Weird.
Oh, it didn't get who? Lauren?
Unless I get it wrong.
There you go.
Oh, now I'm-
Yeah.
Yay.
So obviously Sheila and Zara didn't show, so I know all you guys answered, and then now I know who answered what.
Shame us.
Shame
Show
on
us.
You guys
Yeah.
want me to shame?
Yeah.
Who was the one?
Well, I won't shame on who put
Why
me,
not?
but
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't even know.
Jennifer, you're using good principles.
Savage.
Never engage with a student who wants
So
to be.
next one. So when preparing to jumpstart a car, make sure cars are touching each other, have a cigarette per line to low stress, distance between cars should be minimal without touching, color of cables does not matter. I think I got it.
So you're taking individual each person, or?
No, so
Is it-
if you want to see,
Oh, yeah.
so I press scan and then, oh, you guys is up? See, it grows Gemma, hers, and hers.
So essentially, your phone is a scanner.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see, no,
It's really cool.
so it'll grab Myra's, it'll grab
I have
hers.
not seen that technology. That is really cool.
This is really fun.
Okay, so I think, yeah, just shoot that Zara. And then, right, I guys got it right. And then we have our next one.
No shame.
When an auto battery explodes, flying battery fragments can cause serious eye injuries, true or false? See how many I can get.
Wow.
Can't be the stuff that's free.
Yeah, it's free. Did it grab Laura's?
It did.
Mine's such a rebel.
You got it, we're trying to get yours. It grabbed it?
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Oh, really? Oh, so maybe I don't have to press scan. Oh.
It's cool.
I guys got it right. Thank God. And then the last one. The only equipment you need to jumpstart a battery is a set of jump cables. Got it.
Was this hard to like figure out?
You know, in the beginning, I was kind of like, this is probably gonna take too long, but no, it's actually really easy. Oh, no, wait, I didn't get
Yeah.
on. No, I didn't get on.
Oh, on.
So that's it. At the end, I can also go on reports. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So then this will tell me kind of how you guys did overall.
Can you get a report on which students got it wrong?
Yeah, but I won't do that. So I won't shame the one student, but, yeah. So, once you go back,
She or he just couldn't figure out what to do. They knew the answer.
you
They just
can,
put up the wrong
go
one.
back from-
Negative feedback, you still learn from that too.
But, yeah, you can.
So what's really
You don't have to
cool
go back
about
there.
that is when you're an instructor in academia, you have to show how you know students are learning through the process. So this would be really cool. It's like I use an interactive tool. Here's an example of a report that lets me know at the, end of my talking how many students get it, and you get a real-time look at what people get. It's a really nice tool.
You could even do like pop quizzes, you know?
Yeah.
in class,
Yeah.
And each student has like a lemonade one for the semester.
And then I don't know if you're saying A, B, C, or D, because she can't see. They're,
Right.
they're so
Yeah, you can't
small.
cheat,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can't cheat.
And the shapes are different.
Yeah.
So for your own personal.
They are because I'm looking at it, it's like y'all have different shapes up, and I would
Yeah.
have expected that would look the same. That's cool.
It's
I may actually do my patho quiz that way for the last day of class.
And if you have an iPad, it works even better because you don't have to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
You can go. This one actually prints out 60, but you can go up to like